good morning or evening, whatever time of day or night you are watching this. Divine Rebels Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart readings. It is morning here. It is Moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune in Pisces. We have a wonderful rain that's been falling. Baby Magic has finally gone to sleep after like 5 hours of protesting and staying up, and I am now having that after the baby goes to sleep buzz that parents get, where some of you, just so you know, if you're a new parent and they haven't told you, or an expecting parent, yes, it's real. It happens. Your child finally goes to sleep and you're beyond exhaustion, and suddenly your body's like, hey, we have free time. Let's stay up, or we're too wound up from all of that to go to sleep. So, we're gonna do our video because I already had this line up, the mermaid video, and I'm ready to go now. Coffee not needed. So yes, it's this watery energy. I wanted to leave the window open so you guys could have a little bit of the rain in the background, but there are the wonderful like construction or garbage trucks or something going on outside. So I had to close it, but that vibe is here. We also have, I was trying to wait until like summer, since it's been like, spring season starts off with fire with Aries season. So I was trying to wait till summer to do my water altar. This one, I have many different altars and spaces throughout my house. So I had all the flowers for spring, but I just couldn't wait. And I was doing the mermaid reading. So you can check it on Insta if you want a slow motion little video. There's one posted there. So we have all oceany stones and seashells and my sands and mermaids, and that's a mirror back there that glass cylinder is sitting on. And just, yes, that's sacred medicines from friends that are braided. Yes, we got our seashell runes, all our different symbols here of watery protection and connection. So, sorry, now I'm like trying to get this little bendy tripod attachment to go back in a good space for you guys. All right, so yeah, let me know. Do you like this new altar? There's so many goodies on here, but mermaids like their little treasure chests. So I just had to do it. I actually stopped myself. I have a lot more stuff too that I could put on here. And I was like, look, I can have many little water altars, sea witch altars around the house, my little mermaid altars. So, and it's perfect for our little trident. Hey. So here we go. We're going to get into it. We have some, this is the Seven African Powers incense that's burning right here, that's smoking in, has some jasmine tone to it. Jasmine is a very good watery energy. It's a plant, a flower that's ruled by the moon in witching. So yes, I'm just letting you know the vibe that I'm in. Very go with the flow. We have our options here, and we're going to do it like this. 1, 2, 3. The seashells, it's very fun though, because the seashells that are something for you to choose and pick from are actually some of my seashell runes that we saw over there. So these seashells actually have a message on the underside for you. We have two different, or let's see, no, we have 3 different oracles and 3 different tarot. So 3 mermaid tarots, a sea oracle, an ocean seashell oracle, and a mermaid oracle. Now the mermaid oracle is one of those I have to do the disclaimer on. It is from Blue Angel Publishing, and they do a lot of definitely mistakes and wrongdoings when it comes to colorism, and basically it's racism, right? If you're skinning deities of their proper race and making them white. So I didn't know it when I got that deck, and a lot of people who got that deck got rid of it. It's the Oracle of Mermaids. In that, they took African deity HemiLoah and made her a white woman with a white baby. Not okay whatsoever. So when I sat with it, I was told, use it, and every time that you use it, point it out and talk about it, because everyone just wants to ignore that that's going on, and it just keeps happening in the tarot community. So there it is. It's not okay. Unfortunately, a lot of people of color have limited options to see themselves at all within decks, and this has some diversity in it, which is ironically why I had gotten the deck. It has a little bit of diversity in it, and it was mermaids. So yeah, and we're just going to keep talking about it. People of privilege in the community, please, address that situation, because your voice helps get that changed, and that dollar point of, okaying that If you start making changes, it helps the rest of us, our voices be heard and those changes be made, okay? So there's my shout out to Spirit. We love HemiLoah. We never want to disrespect her and skin her alive of her heritage and color. And we have much respect for her and all the water deities and the mermaids coming through and giving us these beautiful messages, all right? So with love, I pass that message along to y'all. So I'm excited that we got our fishies here, our seashells, watery energy. My little seven seas water was there in the background. It feels good, right? So we're going to get into it. Seashell ring again. We're going to get into it. So we have one. This is actually a black seashell. It has little bits of red. Let me show you up close. Isn't that pretty? We have this seashell here, which we'll just call it kind of pink. It's like, it has little touches of like pink and like burgundy on it. And then this one's actually yellow. It's a very light yellow and also has some kind of little mauve-y color. Oop, I hope I didn't show you the inside of that. Yes, so we'll have the black shell, the pink shell, and or the yellow shell. 1, 2, 3 as your options, and we'll go ahead and get into it now. All the decks and things will be linked down below, and some songs. Mermaids love songs, so we did do some songs in this spread, and all that information will be down below. So please show some love. And also thank you very much for those of you sending donations. For those of you who are sending it from foreign countries, it's delayed in my PayPal. So I just saw like now some that people posted like 9 days ago, and it just showed up in my PayPal, and it's like, it takes a while. It's like pending, but thank you so much. It's so sweet. And yeah, I am grateful for whatever amount. If someone sends $1, $5, like, I'm so grateful that, you know, if this reading touches you, you want to give a donation to me or to Baby Magic, that's wonderful. So thank you so much for those of you who have been so gracious and kind to send donations in, and those links are down below. Here we go. I want to chat more in these, so I think I'm just gonna start doing it, and people can just skip it, because I feel like sometimes there's pressure to hurry, and some of the pressure is because, you know, I want to get the reading done in the time frame that I have as a mom. But yeah, I think I'm just going to start chatting a lot more. We're going to have live segments when I do the readings, but we're also going to have more chat time on them, hopefully. And we decided it's going to be called Kiki with Hemi. I'm Hemi, Bohemia. So yes, tune in. Number 1, for those of you that chose the black shell. I love black seashells. They're so badass. We have Albatross, Endurance. Number 56 in the seashells, and this one is Candy Striped Tree Snail, Home, Property, Material, Possessions. All right, let's see. Oh, you guys had a sneaker one. You had 2 cards together. So you have 170, which is the Little Star Boma, having great potential, setting high goals for yourself. And you also had 169, the Bear's Paw, being nurturing, being affectionate, nature-loving individual. Okay. Your song is A World Alone by Lord. Your other oracle is Honor the Masculine, respecting men, embracing the masculine divine. Masculine energy regardless. Okay, and then getting into the tarot, we have the Ace of Wands reversed. Okay, that makes sense with that card. We have the Hierophant reversed, the Chariot, the Four of Wands reversed. Sorry, I'm like doing this with my non-dominant hand because of how I'm sitting. The Five of Cups, and the Eight of Cups reversed. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. What do we got popping? Definitely and the rune that you guys got here is this one. I'm forgetting the name at the moment. I'm blanking, but it has to do with home, inheritance. It's not Suilo. I always want to call it Suilo. It's not that one. It's Othala. There we go. It has to do with home, family, inheritance. You have the Four of Wands reversed with the Hierophant reversed. So literally, a lot of you, this is family DNA concerns. This is having to do with moving house, moving home. You got the card of home over here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip these over now so I can see. I want to make sure you guys can see these. Okay, I might back you up a little bit. All right. put it over here. Bear's paw. Sorry, this is gonna be a very go with the flow. It's swimming. This is water energy. I'm just gonna stop, trying to rush. We'll just go with the flow on this. Okay. Yeah, so we have so many markers of cards of home on here. Let's see. So a lot of you, I think that there has been concerns about having to move. We have the card of endurance right here. We're seeing some of you are having issues with landlords, absolutely. Some of you are having issues with family members, or you're separating a partnership that's been going for a long time, and trying to see, how are you going to handle this? There's a lot of sadness, not wanting to let go all the way emotionally. Now it's saying that you have good potential though, and that you are meant to, be successful, and to, yeah, I feel like some of you maybe, the negative side of this Othala can be homelessness. It can be dealing with xenophobia, even genocide. Some of you are, refugees. It can be dealing with homelessness, racism. All of those kind of things are the negative side of this, and the Hierophant reverse is actually those same things, right? And so is the Ace of Wands reverse. The Ace of Wands reverse can be anger, hatred, those kind of things. The Hierophant reverse can be where we are severely judged and bullied because we don't fit the demographic, or like the group dynamic of whoever we are trying to exist around, and that's just like hammered home by the Four of Wands reversed. And it's like this feeling, maybe some of you are trying to leave but you can't yet. You might want to leave the area that you're in, or the home that you're in, but maybe because you don't have anything else further set up, you're like, oh, I can't just rush forward. Like I can't, I need to, I know I have great potential. I know I want to be accomplished in these things, but I just don't have anything else lined up. Yes, and so I feel like a lot of you are really needing refuge. You're needing to be secure in your home. Maybe you do have a home, but like that foundation has been shaken. Some of you, it's through people that you have trusted. I feel like some of you, it's going to be multiple situations. Like you've been going through this cycle of losing housing, or having a lot of chaos or instability in the home kind of situation, or even in the dorms. So some of you have been kind of going from house to house, maybe family member to family member. You've been trying to recover from past relationships. So maybe you had a breakup, then you moved in with a family member, and then you had tried to get your own place, and it's just like a series of difficulties that have been going on. It's great because I feel like you're keeping your eye on the prize. You know that there's going to be better times. You know that you're worth a lot, that you can be successful in business. Like you really have endurance and stamina that like others are probably just like, how can you even like believe that something's gonna, that things are gonna turn around? But you know better, and you believe in yourself. You know that it can be different and that things can change, which is really great, because that's the information that you have here as well. Now I feel like you do have a really good ally here that you have to remember to connect with. They could be a Leo or a Scorpio. They could have both of those in their chart: Scorpio Leo moon, Leo Scorpio moon. This song, A World Alone, it says people are talking, let them talk. And it's talking about all my fake friends and all of their noise. Like they study in business, but I study the floor. And so it's talking about having like that one person that is connected to you, and everyone else maybe not being raised right, or just having their different social cliques and stuff of that nature, that leaves you feeling like an outsider, or that people aren't true around you. So I feel like a lot of you have gone through that, trying to connect to others, trying to fit into the group, really putting in time and work to try to fit into like maybe a certain religious group, or a certain spiritual circle. Some of you, it was school, trying to fit into a certain course at college, or just the idea of college in general. Some of you, it was trying to reconnect with family members, or to get them to accept a part of you, or you a part of them. And you just really spent a lot of time trying to get that to fall together, and it didn't really work. Right now what I'm seeing is a parting of ways, having to say goodbye and just let everybody be who they really are. And this card card right here, she has a selkie. Selkies have to reclaim their skin. They're like the seal versions of mermaids in a way, but their skin can get captured by somebody. And when that happens, they can't return to their true form until they get their coat back. You guys should watch the movie Song of the Sea, which is absolutely beautiful. It's like an Irish animated film, and it's based on Irish gods like Maclear, and it's really beautiful. Like, the kids in our family, we watch it a lot, especially if they have water placements, 12th house planets. It's like a beautiful movie. Gorgeous animation. So a lot of these kind of oceany colors. Yes, but in that, she's a little sulky. So and she's born on Halloween. She's a Scorpio. So some of you have to reclaim that. You're trying to literally reclaim your skin back. You're trying to reclaim your identity. At the same time, it's like you're having to find that lighthouse. You're having to find endurance and to see, what others can't see moving forward. So there's the need to finally let yourself just let go of your current situation. All right? See how she has to literally return to the sea? Isn't that beautiful? And the thing is, if others are meant to join in with you, like, you've given them enough light on the path, right? Some of you are trying to hold space to be the game changer in your family spiritually, or you're the first one to go to college or something. Some of you, it's the opposite. You don't want to go and do the family thing, you're not trying to go to Ivy League or whatever, and you have a different path. But the idea is, a lot of you have been trying to pave the way for your community, or for people in your family, or for your partner, and now it's just time for you to look further along the horizon and shoot for your bigger goals without having to kind of feed those goals into anyone else, and without having to work on relationships that just aren't working anymore. Fundamentally, you guys are different. It just doesn't match up. It makes sense that you guys wouldn't be able to share a home. Some of you, like, your Marses were not harmonious with the people you were trying to interact with, or your moons were not, and so you guys could have had really bad moon Mars astrology, which is like, people, I know, to a certain degree, yes, you don't have to follow traditional compatibility, like, oh, we have our moons in the same sign in order to have a life together, but you have to have bridges, is what I say. You have to have some aspects somewhere that give you true understanding and empathy and respect for where the other person is coming from. That's where astrological compatibility becomes important, because if you guys truly just intrinsically value different things, you will never truly have respect for the other person. It just won't happen, right? And I feel like that dynamic has happened a lot with you guys in your personal relationships. You might have mad different astrology than the rest of your family members, and it just, all your family members are Taurus, and you're over here with Aquarius and Scorpio and Sagittarius in your chart, and they have, Virgo and Libra and Taurus, and it's just like you're not getting through to them. Like, it's just not, something that they are willing to open up to. That's just an example. So yeah, I feel like this has been going on with you guys. Now we have honor the masculine, respecting men, embracing the masculine divine. Now some of you had abusive personal relationships, or just very toxic series of relationships, or a marriage. You might also had through like roommates or just your social groups just been having very negative examples of masculine energy. And this is saying that it's time to heal that, and it's time to, one, find kind of the like way to embody those energies yourself, and to feel empowered and not feel that having power and voice and assertive energy and things of that nature are negative, but also that it is time to kind of, it's like talking about nurturing that. You might have been very hard on masculine identifying people around you, not being open to that. You might be having a hard time trusting because of certain, things that have happened in the past. We even have the Ace of Wands reverse. Some of you just had a lot of fuckboys. Some of you, like I said, have had actual aggression and negative situations. I see a few people that might have even gone to the hospital. So you could have had very legitimate concerns. But now I feel like you're having a person that is brought into your life who does really care, who nurtures you. You might know of this person and have been keeping them very distant, and the mermaids are coming to let you know. I mean, mermaids, they know the difference. They can be the siren, right? They can be the siren. I'm sorry, it keeps like slowly moving. They can be the sirens that they will snatch, the negative men and take them to the depths. Done and done. But they can really have a sweet spot for those who are caring and loving and things. So this is letting you know that you do have a masculine energied person around you who is they're open, they're learning, they have their little shark tail, but they're doing it in a good way, right? They say fish are friends, not food. They're not trying to hurt you. Maybe this, for some of you, you are wondering, should I be engaged to this person? Should I marry this person? Because you are already further on the path and you know that they're a good person, but all of these old pains are just coming up. And it's letting you know, like, be nurturing, be affectionate, be, love the nature of this person. If their nature is a good person, not where it's always like, well, you don't know when they're not, you have to give 50,000 disclaimers. No, we're not talking about that person. This person would not be abusive. They would never make you feel violated or endangered, and like truly, not just, oh, well, I don't care, I tolerate that. No, like this is a good person. So don't forget them. You might have, like, I'm thinking of someone now too. Readings always have some messages in medicine, coming back to the readers. No, I'm thinking of that person. I'm like, oh, you right, mermaids. So there could be, you might have, friend put them in a, distant friend. They're, they're in a different country now, whatever, and forgotten about this person. So it's saying to open up. I do see travel. Some of you will travel and connect with this person. So yes, but I think it is time, part of needing to release this emotional connection and grief with the toxic relationships is so that you'll stop misconstruing the good relationships as negative and then trying to use all your loving energy to claim these relationships that ain't shit. Okay. So, moving forward, though, I think things are meant to turn around in your housing and in your career. You might have to allow yourself to relocate in order to do that. You might have to finally allow yourself to let go of a toxic partner, family members, roommate, in order to free yourself up and do so. If you have been needing to get a vehicle or better transportation, I see that easing up, maybe through the help of this masculine energied person here who's trying to be nurturing and affectionate to you. But it says, setting high goals for yourself. Set those high goals. You definitely have ancestors present, even though you might not be connected to the family here and now, or you might have some ancestry that is really awful. You still have some ancestors that are trying to come through and help you. Some of you will actually have an inheritance coming through as well. So some of you, that could be the fighting, what's, the fight is about. I also feel like some of you don't know your family. You might have, again, gone through homelessness and foster care and stuff when you were younger, or just been withheld from a certain side of the family, and might come to find out, coming up here, I'm feeling like within the next year or so, that there are actually either gifts or some kind of inheritance or things passed down to you from that side of your family. Okay. So, and then I'm seeing a little star here. So yes, you guys are starting to get your shine on. You're starting to get your niche, right? That lighthouse is there. You guys are sending out positive messages to others even when you don't realize it. I feel like you're very loving. You console others even when you don't even know how you're gonna make it through yourself. I feel like, this is like, she feels like search and rescue to me. Like, even as, like, you just barely get ahead in life, you're immediately trying to help other people. Like, man, I just came from drowning into the boat, let me help you get into the boat. Like, you are always helping others and want to take care of others and really get on your feet. So I think it's good to focus on yourself now and remove from the toxic situations. If a person's trying to drown you, that's not the person that you want to be around. It's making me think of Sedna, her story, right? Her own father ended up trying to save himself and throw her into death, basically. But she ended up being so generous and creating, creations of the sea and things of that nature. So I feel like you guys just place your energies a little bit better. Use your reserves for yourself. If you use that energy for yourself, and it's not selfish to do so, this is a Cancer card. It's still caring. You're still remembering where you came from. You might still have love for your hometown or your family, even if it's just like, in a love-hate kind of way. That's still there. So allow yourself to be successful and to move forward with things, and to allow yourself to have security, even if you've been labeled the one who doesn't, things of that nature. Allow yourself to be seen a little more, because that's going to happen. I feel like some of you are very embarrassed to get any success because you feel like others are going to judge how you got it or how you use it or if you're deserving of it, and just really put you down. And this reading is just to let you know you are deserving to be successful. And yes, you are somebody who's always been meant to have that success. Like, you have it in you to achieve it. So don't beat that out of yourself anymore. Okay? Again, people are talking, people will talk, let them talk, okay? Don't let that affect your life. Some of you are ready to be truer to yourself and come out and claim your own skin, your own lifestyle, being a marginalized person. And it's saying to allow yourself to do so. Allow yourself to keep fighting and claiming that success, even if you've had to deal with some really shitty office politics, or other people want to kind of take your soapbox from you or something of that nature. Allow yourself to still, you're a little star too, allow yourself to have that openness and keep trying and to stay with yourself, okay? So I wish you so much love and success and healing, and I hope that this message was helpful. I'm sure it is. It's from the Mermaid, and they are, usually very on point and very caring, but still they're very on point, if they need to say something. So hopefully this was helpful to you. Let me know down below, and I will talk to you soon. Yay! Mermaid messages on a rainy day. I love rainy days. All right. For those of you that chose number 2 with the pink shell, your rune was Fehu, which is great because that is the rune of wealth and prosperity. Hey, you got tides and cycles for your card. Isn't that beautiful? For your oracle, you have dreams, vivid dreaming, dream messages, and dream teaching. I feel like every time I do multiple choice readings with this deck, this card comes out for one of the options. Okay, let's put that one over here. For your seashells, you've got Busanum Welk seashell, and this is what it looks like. It says, needing to come clean or confess something. Ooh. Child. We have Harasi Cone, being a perfectionist, being highly critical, one's inner judge. All right, so far I am seeing Cancer, Pisces, and Virgo energies. We have Goodbye by Jagged Edge. Okay, that's old school throwback. We have the Page of Wands reversed, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, Seven of Swords reversed, the Magician, Six of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. We have the Four of Wands in the other one. So there's a lot of people. There's definitely Virgos and Geminis present around this situation, possibly for you. There are Pisces, Scorpios, Cancers. There are Aquarians and Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgos, Aries. So we got like everybody in this mix, like the whole town involved for some of y'all. Could have some Taurus moons, definitely, Aries moons, Aquarius moons. So what is going on with you guys? Let's see. Now, first and foremost, either some of you have done some shady thing or the other person has. I feel like some of y'all are having that where you had the dream that someone did something shady and But when we have the Seven of Swords and the Magician in the same spread, especially these came from the same deck, I chose 2 cards from each of the 3 mermaid tarots that I have. Decks will be linked down below. But from the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot, you got the Seven of Swords and reversed and the Magician. Whenever you get that combo, somebody is on mad manipulative bullshit. Like, you just, like, either one of those can be shady on their own, depending on how they're aspected in a reading. But together, forget about it. And then you got the card needing to come clean or confess something. So some of you have not been sleeping well. You've been like, you've been a little short-tempered with somebody. You're not trusting someone. You're not wanting to invest in them. You're maybe not feeling reciprocity in the home. Or you feel like, okay, maybe they're suddenly like paying their bills and doing all this, but you feel something's not right. The imagery that I'm getting, if you have been, this is, I'm going to say it, it's in the reading. Some of you have been concerned about someone using again, all right? And I've had these cards in very real situations. I've been doing this a long time, so I'm going to say this. I think that it's worth looking into. They could definitely be using again. So sometimes, you know that feeling when someone was recovering and then all of a sudden it's like you can just tell, like, okay, now there's money coming into the home, maybe a little bit, and things are nice and going really good, but it's not a real happy, like something's going on, what's going on behind the scenes. And that's kind of like the calm before the storm of the full relapse, when everything really hits the fan, right? You know what I'm talking about? So I feel like that. I feel like this is the hustle phase, getting the buzz back phase for myself, and someone might be using behind the scenes. And this is hard stuff that I'm seeing, because I'm seeing needles. So I'm just going to say that for those who really need to hear it, because you need to be proactive for yourself and this person that you care about, to make sure you go and get the counseling that you need, and allow that to happen, because that's just a very strong message in here. And also to be smart about your money and your comings and goings, okay? Now I'm seeing a lot of fighting and bickering. We have being a perfectionist, highly critical, inner judge. Some of you guys are just, your shade that you're throwing at your partners or your friends around you is not as low key as you think it is, and it's really hitting the mark. And I think for some of you, you could really be damaging, a coworker, a classmate, a friend, a lot more than you think that you are. You might feel justified because, like, this is very Virgo, where it's like, well, they should get their shit together. Then they haven't been, bringing in as much money as they should. That's, oh well, too bad. That, or like Capricorn, very earth signs. That's what it kind of feels like, is when you're just like, well, I'm validated and saying this to them because. So it's kind of saying, watch how you talk to those that you love or those that you interact with, because it can be coming off extremely, extremely harsh. We have the song Goodbye by Jagged Edge. So this says, even when you love someone, there could be the need to part ways, and those cycles ending and coming through, right? Or going through. So I'm just getting that message very strongly as well. Some of you are receiving this treatment from others, and again, we have the message here of goodbye, needing to come clean. Some of you need to confess to others just what it does to you when others are treating you this way. Basically, it's like, if you're not having a happy, harmonious home or work situation, if there's not a kind of a blessed, pure give and take, it's not the right situation for you, period, right now. Like, boom, end of story. That's it. If your finances are getting super drained, and this isn't like where you're just helping someone who's in real need. This is like, I feel like a lot of you are dealing with very leeching situations, like truly, so it's either a case where you just can't help this person to the level they need to be helped, and that's when it's good to go and get the person the professional help that they need, because we can make ourselves and them turn into the bad guy when it doesn't have to be. So for example, the situation where we're dealing with someone who has addictions, if we try to just ignore it, pretend it's whatever, and don't help them get the help that they need, and things get really bad, then both parties can turn into like these crazy people that they're not, and it can become a very horrible situation and cycle, right? So it's like, we have to be loving sometimes, and I'm seeing that for some of you guys. Some of you need to lovingly let people go because a situation is getting shady, and I firmly believe in that. I have Aquarius in my chart, and if I can't be a good friend to you, if there's too much like resentment or just like differences and viewpoints on loyalty, things of that nature, I will let the relationship go, because why have all of this kind of buried, bitterness and all of these kind of things that make you have to maneuver and react and calculate your responses. Like, all of that slowly breaks up intimacy and love and trust and all of those important foundations in a relationship, okay? So it's just very important to let this situation go. Some of you have been being very manipulative with how you're interacting with others, and maybe you feel justified because of things that have happened, or you feel like, well, I'm getting back at them, or you are treating an external party in a manipulative way, maybe even trashing them around town, things of that nature, because of something that happened with the person that you're close to, and they are, a different outside party in the situation. And it's basically like, look, for a solid loving relationship, none of that would be necessary whatsoever. There, you would know where you stand with this person, even give and take. Yeah, it's just not needed. So either the relationship is very dysfunctional and, cutting and reducing and demeaning and needs to be released at this time, or you have been in a very negative, spot lately, and it's kind of like, okay, like, this is the side, like, get your shit together now, like, we need to see a better cycle coming up. Release all of that stuff, and needing to come clean, needing to confess, needing to just be honest, instead of doing all these mental, emotional, social gymnastics and explaining and defensiveness and all of this. Like, I don't need to hear that in the comments. Like, well, actually, blah, 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 blah. Right? We have Gemini, Aquarius, Libra energy here. Earth signs can talk themselves into believing that, like, they don't even have assholes or something. I don't know. Like, let's be real though, right? You guys invented like PR and like hoodwinking the public. Like, come on now. So it's like, be real with yourself. If you can't be real with yourself, then you don't care about this relationship. If you can't be honest and really look at your inner motives, your shit, without having to blame the other person for being triggered or da 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 da. If you can't fix yourself and feel safe and loving and whole to be able to be in these interactions and relationships, it's not right anymore, okay? And then the other person would need to be able to do the same thing. So that's the message there as far as the relationships. Now, I feel like your spiritual life, it looks good. I think you get a lot of downloads and dream time. You have a lot of messages coming to you. Now, you might not always know the meaning of it because jellyfish can sting, right? And she's kind of holding herself, rocking in. But I feel like give yourself time. There's times where you're going to kind of incubate these messages. You don't have to try to push your psychic gifts, your talents, or anything too hard at this time. You need more balance in your life. Even here, he's kind of juggling all his different elements. There's a nice passing back and forth and a flow to this, and ease that things are supposed to come to you a little bit more. But a big message for you guys is when you're told goodbye in a situation, when a situation ejects you out of it, shuts you down, shuns you out, that's your sign. That's your clear sign about that situation at this time, okay? So it's not a time where you have to go back and fight for it. It's a time that you are going to be easily embraced with the things that are good for you, that are in line with your path. And that's very quickly going to lead you to, from getting help to the point of having wealth yourself and having abundance and having a home, being secure, being in a loving, respectful relationship, okay? And it could even be someone who's in your local environment, up until like a few cities around you or something right there, like the city and the suburbs surrounding, could be pretty close within your local sphere, surprisingly, that you might have this connection with somebody. Some of you also need to focus on children more. If you work with children or you have children, it's like focus on those things, focus on having fun, focus on going out and about. Some of you need to start looking at houses. Because of the situation, you might be a little bit nervous. Maybe you pick number 1 as well. Nervous about re-nesting. And it's like, no, be excited about your possibilities. Look as if you already have the position that you want, the funds that you want, that your business is already popping. I feel like you are going to get some support and guidance, a lot of it from the spiritual world as well, to get your business off the ground. And it's saying, don't forget to go local. Like, it's not all about the internet right now for you. It's actually a lot about your face-to-face meetings, going into local shops and other small businesses, things of that nature, and kind of doing trading. I'm seeing bartering. So this is something that I do when I work in shops. I'll walk around to the other shops that have a, maybe a vibe that I can sense that there's a similar energy, and I'll say, hey, like, what, let's swap advertising, or we do an event here, you do an event there. So this is respectful bartering. This isn't like just try and get an artist to give you something for free, okay? Hashtag don't do that. Don't go there. So yes, you have abundance coming in. I feel like, yeah, I feel like just don't lie to yourself anymore and tell yourself that you can't have a better life. Because right now the mermaids are saying that's a lie. You can have a better life. You can have a really good romantic relationship. You can have a very good relationship with your children, and you can build yourself into having security and finances and abundance. You can grow your psychic gifts more than they have been, and you really can end these negative cycles. You can say no. You can say goodbye. Some of you, sometimes we need to know that. Like, am I gonna let this toxic ex go? You know, it's hard sometimes. I understand. We get caught in the cycles. It's very hard. Sometimes, and I'm seeing that yes, you absolutely can do it. No more them playing you like a fiddle. You're gonna get, in control of all the different areas of your life and really claim that power. Okay, so I hope this reading was helpful for you. I wish you all the best. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what you thought down below, and give a shout out to our mermaids. What's your favorite, like, ocean deity or like mermaid myth? I want to know. Selkies, we include Selkies in this. Number 3, for those of you who chose the yellow shell, your rune is Ing or Ingas, right? Ingwas. I'm sorry, there's so many different ways to pronounce the runes, and my brain just can't remember them during this reading for some reason, even though I just looked them up to make sure too before. Yes, this rune has to do with especially male fertility. This is like something suddenly bursting forth after a long time. It can deal with like the fruitfulness that comes when we allow ourselves to first be solitary, and we learn that that's not loneliness, and we use that time actively to incubate things, and then we get the blessings that come forth moving forward. Okay, and it also reminds me of the letter Samech in Hebrew. So some of you might have like Sam in your name, or you might have an S name that's very significant to you at this time. You got penguins, trust, because they are ocean creatures, aren't they? We have experiments, manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, arrogance. Ooh. All right, we have the tent olive shell. And it says low self-esteem, low self-worth, tendency to settle for less. And then we also got the heart cockle shell, which is so beautiful, and it says love and romance. So we have two sides really warring it out right here. Let's see what's going on. Your song is Magical by Erica Flowers, which I love. It's a beautiful song. Please check it out. It's a little bop. And it talks about, now that you know what it is, basically, how do you feel about this? Like, what we have could be magical. Like, so what are we going to do about it? Okay, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Let's see. Oops, sorry, they're sticking. We have the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Moon, and then again we have the Moon from a different deck, and the King of Cups reversed. So I feel like some of you, this is definitely relationship reading coming about for this one. And so it's saying some of you have been really settling for these kind of like false soulmate obsessions and craziness just because you don't really know what real love and relationships look like. It's stemming a lot from low self-esteem. Like it says, low self-worth, tendency to settle for less. That's absolutely happened. And then it leads you in a state where you are battling for the power of your mind and your connection, trying to keep your good heart and this trust that you have, and wanting to believe that at any moment, yes, that this partner can kind of step up to the game or come into your life, but not really knowing what the long-term game plan is. Now, I do see that you guys are meant to have this love, this trust, like build a family with somebody, and someone that you can trust to communicate with, someone who will value your mental health as well as your emotional health. But it's like there's a lot of work to be done within yourself with the messages that you send out, because you're sending out this message that you think is about soulmates, but it's not. There's still some diluting of the self that's going on, and some feeling down on yourself and not really feeling like you deserve love, and some things that are kind of need some kinks worked out of them like that, which calls in people who are duplicitous and people who don't always have the best energy, or people who just they haven't learned to be fully honest with themselves. Even if they mean well, they haven't learned to know who they are fully, and they end up surprising themselves by having these compartmentalized different aspects of self. Some of you have been very much experimenting right now, and you're saying that it's freedom, you're saying that it's like you claiming your body, and that is not what's going on any longer. If it was, because we have this energy here of you being either, I feel like some of you have been preyed on when you didn't mean to. Some of you are, kind of recklessly going into these situations, so you're playing a part in it. But it's still, you end up being manipulative or manipulated, and having these kind of very negative entanglements with very like predatory energy to them, and going in cycles of people not having good self-esteem, and then you have like these emotional breakdowns, and it's like, oh, see, this person loves me because they're saying they're gonna hurt themselves if I'm not here, or it's like that kind of stuff where it's like connectedness through woundedness, and it's games, and it's not really love, it's emotional like highs and lows that are connecting. So some of you, that is what you're needing to cut away, and it's like you will never get your full mental health if you don't remove that dynamic and release that person or that energy. Like some of you just have that, and you're romanticizing very toxic traits within relationships. Some of you, it's just within your mind. Like, sometimes you'll start off like daydreaming about something that's wonderful, and then you'll like end the scenario in like a horrific way, and you're like, what the hell is wrong with me? Why did I just hurt myself so bad in this like fake imagined relationship in my brain? Like, what the hell? So it's like you have to actually look at those things, because you're really saying something to yourself when you do that. Like, if you can't even have a healthy, realistic daydream, right? And you start off that way, you do. But then somewhere in the realm of emotions and deeper psychological patterns within yourself, it gets misconstrued, it gets mistranslated with others, and it gets really, really messy. So some of you are already in a relationship that is, healthy. It's just that you maybe are still, obsessing over this idea that there's this better soulmate out there, or this like false twin flame. It just feels like what I'm hearing is just like like soulmate chatter, excuse, white noise static, basically, right? And so you're not fully focusing on your relationship. You're looking over here. They don't fully know who they are. So it's like you guys, for those of you who are in a healthier relationship, but you just don't know how to be 100 with each other, because you don't know how to be 100 with yourselves, right? And so it's like, if you want to make the long shot here, which you can, for those of you who are in a healthy relationship, yes, I do see being able to go on and have a legacy, have a whole bunch. Some of y'all might have a lot of kids, actually. Those of you who are watching this one, we have double fertility with the moon, and we have like a broad of kids. So you guys might really go there and have that ability, right? The person could be fertile. I'm just saying, right? You got the even some of you might go through artificial insemination, and or through paperwork, and adopt a lot of kids. But still, I see big families with this group. So it's like you can't really be affording to play around. Some of you have been thinking about like cheating on your partner because you're making up excuses about the so-called soul, and it's not to be too flippant, but that's what the cards are showing. They're like, this is just experimental, emotional, like going crazy affair kind of energy that you're putting on this person who's not like a soulmate to be linking up right now, and you're endangering being in a healthy relationship and actually working on yourself, and some of you, maybe this person was woo-de-woo big soulmate in the past life. They're not now. So we can't just like make souls have to cling to us for like eons. Like, that's not how it works. Like, this idea that we own souls, or that they're the only half of us and we have like claim on them above all of other souls, like that comes from a pretty toxic place, that we need that to be true. And so it's like, it's coming, yes, from neediness. It's coming from maybe abandonment issues, parenting, mothering issues, things of that nature, instead of just looking at the partner who is available for you right here in this lifetime, or actually even seeing them and being open to them in the real world, you're staying single and obsessing about all these other situations, right? Or you're not being able to presently truly live and work on things with your partner and value them as an actual real person without demeaning them and feeling like, well, I'm the more sensitive one, I'm the more emotional one, I'm the more spiritual one. It's like it's like you literally stole their moon in astrology. Like maybe they can't be they can't have a heart. Like you're mad that they're so cold and withdrawn, but like you need that role so much to be like the emotional, empathic, romantic, psychic one. Like you need all of that to be your identifier and to make sure that you can be the sensitive one and the victim if there is one, kind of thing. That the other person has like no room to even have their heart or their emotions or their gifts and things. So for some of you, that is something that you need to work on. And could definitely be water signs, right? That's some real water sign shit that goes on. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Some of you are water signs dating air signs, and so that's it's difficult because you might not be valuing what is authenticity for them, what is a form of care, what is a love language for them, right? So it's like at this point you really need to listen to people's words. People will tell you who they are, believe them. I'm not talking about people finessing you. I'm talking about people will let you know who they are. They will. And a lot of times we don't listen, okay? The thing is, you also let people know who you are, right? And you also let yourself know. And you have to believe that when there's time to work on stuff. So I'm not saying that you're a horrible person. I'm just saying that even when we're trying to be like so loving and we think we really are, we can still have faults in our love. And that's so hard. That hurt my heart sometimes that I've seen that, where I was maybe the victim in a certain situation with like this bad boy I was dating, or I really gave my all and thought I was giving very purely, and then I had to be like, whoa, like this is dependency isn't a good thing, or trying to make someone feel like you're the only person that would love them. That's not healthy. That's actually very painful. That's like low-key abusive, right? So there's sometimes where we don't mean to, and so it's like you have to look at the part of yourself that is endangering others, tinkering with others. You have to look at your patterns with your soul energy, your soulmate energies, your emotional energies and relationships, and that's going to help you be able to be more clear with others, be more honest and forthright with others, because you have a big heart. You have this ability to have this family, this love, this amazing magical life. And so that's why I think this message is going hard on you right now, right? It's almost like the mermaids are like talking to you like one of their own. Like, we're gonna go hard on you, sis, because you have a chance to be happy. And like, what are you doing, boo? Like, come on, let's work on this. Like, it's time. Let's really be honest, so I feel like this is some love from the mer that is just very like heart to heart. Like, we're going to talk to you like we talk to one of our own. You need to get this together because you have the ability to be really happy. Some of you are writers, some of you are songwriters. Hey, fellow songwriters, you really want to add beauty and creativity to the world. You want to have this amazing, authentic, whimsical relationship. That's great. You can do that without having like the crazy dark part. You can have crazy good, right? And it can even be taboo crazy good. It doesn't have to be damaging crazy, you know what I mean? So it's like, stop romanticizing those things. Really pay attention to what your beliefs are about emotional boundaries and connections, psychological boundaries and connections. Some of you have a lot of Pluto and Black Moon Lilith and in the moon, like weird dynamics and angles with that in your chart. Study that, learn how to take the medicine and the empowerment and work those energies so that they don't run your life low key. And I feel like that's kind of like the monkey brain is running overdrive, or the emotional self is running overdrive, and it's like, no, let me get in control of these energies. Your partner, I just feel like one of you is very emotional and has those kind of Plutonian qualities, and one of you is very mercurial and has more just Mercury air sign kind of mind all over the place. So you have to kind of come together and find a way to be harmonious with each other. A lot of you might not even be in the relationship with this person, but this is why it's not coming together. The universe wants you to have a realistic, practical relationship. It's not about like oh, the biggest, sexiest soulmate that I could find right now. They're like, no, you're gonna have like you have a connection that's gonna fit you, that's gonna make you grow. It's not gonna be abusive, but it's gonna challenge you, and it's not always gonna feel like it's coming to lick your butt. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but it's not just gonna be this big. I'm not seeing that storyline that they do with twin flames. Like, to be honest, that term twin flames, I've seen what I've seen psychically and spiritually for real. Before all these newer terms and stuff, there are different rankings of soulmates, right? And there's something that I would call the greater soulmate. That's on a higher vibration than the vibration I see when people talk about twin flames. And a lot of the tactics for getting people stuck on twin flames, and a lot of the themes that a lot of readers are keeping people stuck on with twin flames is straight up abusive and toxic. And I am very anti-abuse, spiritually or domestically, things of that nature. So I have issues using those exact terms. I think there's much higher, better forms of relationships than what they are calling twin flames. It shows that's kind of a lower vibration than the better relationship. So I'm just saying that because that's what I'm seeing here. There's other soulmate connections that are better, and sometimes what's good for us in this realm that we're gonna love and grow in the best isn't that greater, what I would call the greater soulmate. It's not. That greater soulmate quite often could be like our spirit guide. They're not even incarnated with us. We have literally like millions of like amazing sexy soulmates. Depending on if you're also slanging. No, hashtag also slanging 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 and slaying. Hashtag drop it in the comments. No. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm being goofy, but you're the last reading. We can kiki a little bit. No, but it's different. Maybe if you're a newer soul, you don't have as many, and it's not to diminish. It's saying, keep the doors open. Like, if you're truly looking at it from a spiritual lens, you would not go into obsession and craziness over one soul like that, and or the idea of someone possibly being that soulmate, to the point that you can't heal and thrive and actually feel love. Like, that's your sign right there. Are you actually able physically in your life to have love? Because when you connect to someone that is your real soulmate or vibe, you will have loving people will be drawn to you. Love attracts love. As soon as someone loves you, right? Like, if you've ever been in like a loving relationship or around people who love you, even if it's not romantic, other people that genuinely like have affection towards you will just start flocking to you because you start radiating that vibration, right? So yeah, I'm just trying to explain like this whole big concept. So that's probably like a series of videos, but I just want to encourage you. There are better relationships. Your soul hasn't even begun to feel the most amazing relationships it can. Really stay present with relationships that aren't always the sexiest, but they have the real work to them, but they are honest and good and true and loving, and they're gonna build you like the experiences and the love and the true like earth experience that you need to have, right? And they are soulmates too, just in a different form, maybe not in the idealized way that you have, and that ideal needs a little bit of work. So this song says, now that you know, now that you've had this reading and had this information, do you still feel the same? And I do feel like there is a partner waiting for you guys, to come into your life, that the universe wants to bring in, that's real. It's just a real person, a real actual person. Can you handle that? Let's be real. Let's talk about it. Can you handle a real person coming in and loving on you and being close to you and seeing all those sensitive spots? Not for craziness, not for all of this. No, for real. Boom, present, there. Okay? So I think you're getting ready, because it says trust, and you have this beautiful heart shell, love and romance. Okay, so I hope you are open to that. I hope that this helped free you and release certain things and get you ready to have a life living on your toes and just present and thriving. And let me know what you think down below. We thank the mermaids for these messages. They're really direct and they're very legit. They're always extremely accurate. So I thank the mer for their coming through with their messages here. So I will talk to you guys soon. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for coming through.